Well, good morning. It's been a long time coming, but I'm Michael Parks. I'm the volunteer CEO of Flyaway Homes and a board member of the People Concern, Flyaway Homes partner. I want to welcome you to the unveiling of Flyaway Homes' second permanent supportive housing community. Within weeks, this project will provide permanent housing with services to 16 families. Over 40 people will be housed here, we hope by the end of August. The People Concern, with services from the People Concern that will allow people to stay housed, healthy, and safe. First, I would like to ask John Messeri, the CEO of the People Concern, to join me for the dedication of the project and the unveiling of the name. John is the inspiration and guiding hand for the founding of Flyaway Homes. John challenged Stephen Jones, who you'll meet in a minute, one of Flyaway's founders and a People Co board member, as well as others on the People Co board, to come up with a plan to develop and build the needed permanent supportive housing faster and cheaper as the only solution for LA's homeless crisis. Flyaway was the result. On behalf of the Flyaway team, the investors in the project, as well as the People Concerned board and staff, I am honored to dedicate this project to the celebration of the life of Ray Grutzmacher. For over 3 decades, Ray was the beloved partner of John Messeri, and their love was one of the great ones. Today would have been Ray's 60th birthday. Ray was smart, kind, generous, and hilarious. Ray had levity and love of life that buoyed not only John in all his great works, but everyone around him. These two great men walking astride, supporting each other and bringing goodness to the world together, each in their own ways. They inspired and inspire all of us to reach a little higher. The dedication of this beautiful building and the supportive community it will become to honor Ray's memory is not only appropriate because of Ray's unwavering support of John, the People Concerned, Flyaway Homes, and our collective effort and mission to solve homelessness, but because something only as substantial and significant as providing homes for over 40 people as part of a supportive community is remarkable enough to honor John and Ray's partnership and memorialize the space that Ray has left behind. So we hereby dedicate the Ray Grutzmacher Family Community. But he's here. All right. So John will be up to speak more in a little bit. But now I've got a few quick remarks. As I said, we currently expect that 16 families will begin moving into the Ray Grutzmacher Family Community in the latter part of August with the support and assistance of the People Concerned. John will be back in a few minutes to speak about both Flyaway and what we all need to do to solve the homeless crisis in Los Angeles. This project is what Flyaway Homes and the People Concerned are all about, getting Los Angelinos experiencing homelessness into permanent supportive housing with services as quickly as possible. The key to this is to rapidly increase the supply of permanent supportive housing to ensure that people experiencing homelessness get the housing and services they need to rebuild their lives for themselves and for all our communities. As John will explain further, the solution for our current chronic homelessness crisis in Los Angeles is well known. It's more permanent supportive housing with services faster and more cost effectively. Indeed, when people move into permanent supportive housing with services provided from the People Concerned, they remain housed 92% or more of the time. I want to repeat that, 92% of the time. We know the answer. It's houses with services. In order to produce more supportive housing faster, Flyaway Homes and People Concerned are working to refine their modular development model to provide a predictable, scalable, and cost-effective process for scaling the building of this quality housing and services to move thousands of people from the streets or interim housing into PSH over the next 3 years. As a community, our responsibility is to make sure that at all levels we work to provide the support and the collective will to demand that the problem is solved effectively and quickly. Flyaway has been granted HHH funding and federal HUD project-based rental support for 2 projects that are currently under development. The first project, which we developed on Lagoon, and will be a wood and modular building which we expect to house at least 39 families in 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom units. We are currently working through the pre-development and funding process for this project. The next project we hope will house 49 families. For this project, we are working to arrange the land and pre-development funding. Unfortunately, funding and progress on these projects has been affected by the pandemic. We are hoping to accelerate these projects as things continue to reopen. We expect these 2 projects to share a common unit design, common suppliers, etc., to further develop and prove that a scalable model for developing quality PSH faster and more economically can and needs to begin to scale to solve this crisis. I would like to quickly introduce the Flyaway team, all of whom, except one, are volunteers. I will ask them to stand quickly. Without their time and dedication, none of this would have happened. I want to first introduce Stephen Jones and his daughter, Lori Meister, who, along with Sarah Jessup, who unfortunately can't be here today, but is represented by her sister and her mother, and Kevin Harai, are the original founders of Flyaway. Sarah is our volunteer CFO, and Kevin is our volunteer Chief Operations Officer. We are also joined by Laura Kaiser, who's co-chair of the board of the People Concern, and has been working for many years to help solve homelessness in Los Angeles. Next, I want to introduce Will Wright, our only dedicated employee and a crucial member of the Flyaway team. Will makes sure that everything keeps moving and that all this got done. Next, I want to introduce Noyan Uris. Noyan, where are you? A special thanks to Noyan and his team, without whom none of this would have happened. Noyan is Flyaway's volunteer Chief Development Officer. And of course, Melissa, who's part of Noyan's team from Noyan's construction company, Intergrare. Noyan and Melissa and their team have donated untold thousands of hours and have worked tirelessly to complete the project and to overcome the effects of COVID on top of the other challenges. We would not have this beautiful building without their tireless efforts. Next, I want to thank our investors and funders. Without their willingness to take a chance and fund innovation, none of this would have been possible. Over 85% of the project has been funded by private investors. I also want to thank the County of Los Angeles for the $1 million Innovation Challenge grant that the county invested into this project, which was won by Flyaway as part of the Innovation Challenge at the end of 2018, early 2019. I also want to thank Councilman Harris-Dawson and the District 8 community for all their support for this much-needed PSH community. I would like to now invite Councilman Harris-Dawson up to make a few remarks. Councilman? Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. It's a good day. We've got a little bit of good news this morning in a period of time that has been very tough for so many of us. I think as I look at this sign, John's a true testament to you and to your partner, but also a true marker for how much this period has been a time for loss for so many of us. And so we stand with you, we stand in solidarity, we stand in empathy with you, and we feel both the loss and the spirit to move on and to get things done, even when it's very, very difficult like it's been now. And so I just wanted to stop by to say I've got to jet off to council, but I wanted to stop by just to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is the toughest challenge that this city faces, is the ability to house our neighbors and to house our people. Our systems are slow, they're expensive, and they get gummed up with all types of bureaucracy and rules and funding requirements. And these organizations have made sure that we get projects anyway and have found a way out of no way and have found a way through the maze. And here we have a beautiful facility that will house over a dozen families right here in the heart of the community. So I know we did individuals, but let's do a big round of applause for everybody involved in this process. It's always nice as a council member when you go to the groundbreaking. As a council member, you get a little worried when you go to groundbreakings, because in the back of your mind, you get worried that maybe this groundbreaking will never turn into a ribbon cutting. But I'm happy to say that with Flyaway Homes and People's Concern, we've been to 2 ribbon cuttings in my district, one right over on Colden, which is around 98th, and this one today. So we're so proud of the work that you've done and the lives that will be changed because of your work. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you on behalf of all the citizens of the 8th District and the City of Los Angeles.
So now I'm going to bring up John, who's been the director and CEO of the People Concern for over 20 years. And John has forgotten more about homelessness than any of us will ever know. And here's John.
Well, thank you, Michael, and thank you all for coming this morning. It's really nice to see so many colleagues and friends and extended family members. I do want to say, on behalf of Ray and our family, it's a great honor to have this building named after him. He was an environmental geologist, and he spent his life making sure that the soil and groundwater were safe for people. And he was a very early supporter of Flyaway. He was an investor. I remember when we first talked about Flyaway Homes, he was so excited, and he said, I want to be part of that. I want to be part of changing the system. I guess living with me for 31 years taught him something about being a disruptor. And I was proud of him for that and grateful, as I am grateful to all the investors, all of you that have stepped up and put your money into innovation and have really leaned into this issue, because frankly, we simply couldn't have done it without you. So on behalf of Ray, his brother, sister, myself, we are very, very honored and grateful for this honor, and are excited to have 16 families move off the streets into permanent homes. So we are very, very grateful. So thank you for that. Our partnership with Flyaway Homes, I really also want to personally acknowledge all of the board members of Flyaway Home, Michael, Stephen, Lori, Noyan, Sarah, and Kevin, for sticking with it. Doing anything that's worthwhile is hard. Doing this work is incredibly hard. It is incredibly difficult work, day in and day out. And so you all had the vision to sort of take up the challenge of how we could do better. That has always been our goal at the People Concern, is to do better and to be better, and to find a way to kind of break through the noise and overcome the skepticism that I think most people feel around the issue of homelessness. Michael's right. This is really not a complex problem in terms of the solution. Whatever the drivers are into homelessness, the solution is exactly the same, and that is housing. It's housing. All roads lead to permanent housing. And in the case of the people we serve, housing with the level of support and services to keep people housed, because it's not just about housing first, it's about housing always. And the People Concern has made that our core mission, is to continue to push through to make sure that no Angelino continues to languish on the streets. So we are going to continue to push forward, even in the most difficult of times, to make sure that this is the second, but it will not be the last. Our goal is to have hundreds of these projects around the city and county of Los Angeles so that we can see thousands of our unhoused neighbors move indoors. The councilman referenced Colden, which is just about 10 blocks south of here. We leased up that property in November of 2018, and during the pandemic, it was a refuge for those residents. I'm very happy to say that because people were inside and housed healthy and safe and had access to the services they needed, they had food, they had access to testing, they had access to medical care. We did not have one positive COVID test in that building. That's considering what's going on in the world, that's pretty amazing. All of the residents who lived there, the children were able to continue being schooled remotely because they had access to Wi-Fi and to internet, that they had tablets to do their homework on. That would have not been possible if they would have been living on the streets, on the median, out here, or under a freeway overpass. So we know that the solution to homelessness is housing with supportive services. I want to thank our partners here. The Department of Mental Health, Department of Health Services, and LASA have been instrumental in working with our team to identify the 16 families that are going to occupy these units in just a couple of weeks. We're very grateful to all of the investors, for the people who stepped up early and on and continued to hang with us, even when things got a little dicey there during the pandemic. There's nothing like trying to complete a huge construction project in the middle of the pandemic, but we pushed through and you all stood with us. So we are extremely grateful for you. I also want to acknowledge the incredible staff of the people concerned, Sid and Melissa and Julie DeRose and the entire permanent supportive housing team who've been working tirelessly to identify the families and make that transition from the streets into these units possible. They suit up and show up every day with a smile on their face and do some of the most difficult work, and I don't think they get acknowledged enough, so I really want to lift them up today. And finally, I want to thank the board of directors of the people concerned for believing that it was possible to do something different, that the status quo, we joke at our agency that the status quo is Latin for the mess we're in. And I think that's true, when it comes to homelessness. But we are very lucky to have a board of directors, led by Laura Kaiser and Gary Foster currently, but the leaders that preceded them that took up the charge when we said we can do better. We have to find a new gear because 66,000 people living in the second largest city in the United States and the greatest country on earth to live like abandoned animals is unacceptable. It is inhumane and it's intolerable. And our board said, yes, we can do better. So thank you for believing in the staff. Thank you for believing in Flyaway, our partnership on this project, on Colden, on the 2, the 3, the 5, the 20, hopefully the hundreds to come in the future will be a testament to what Margaret Mead said a long time ago, that never doubt that a thoughtful group of committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. So, yes, I'd like to, it's just kind of right below the surface. An emotional day today, Ray's birthday, and this is, it's wonderful and overwhelming at the same time. Now it's my privilege to introduce to you Mr. Turner, who is a resident at Colden, who has been kind enough to come and share with us his story and the difference that permanent supportive housing has made in his life. So please welcome Mr. Turner.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Eric Turner again. I became homeless in around 2017. Just a real difficult time, and I want to say it was more circumstances, meaning things that I was going through, as far as depression, loss of job, relationship and divorce, and kids, and I found myself really at the lowest esteem of my life, and I found programs that helped me, and I found people concerned, through Colden, and it really helped me. It gave me that stability. It's a great place. I've been there almost 3 years, and it definitely is building me every day. It's helping me out, just with everything, and like I said, it really helped. Really helped.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And as you can see, with, he's rebuilding his life and with the support of the people concerned, he's been housed for 3 years and moving forward. I know he has aspirations to move beyond this into other things with his family and stuff. So again, thank you for sharing your story. We really appreciate it. So now we're going to adjourn this for a few minutes and let people, we're going to do some tours of the property. We have one unit which we have put furniture in so people can file through that and see. As you can see, the project here, we have this open space here. We have a gurney-size elevator for people. It's the three-story project. And I'm hoping that when people come by here in about 4 to 6 weeks, thanks to John and all the people he mentioned who I can't thank enough, we will have 16 families here, making a little more noise, hopefully, but not too much, and living their lives and rebuilding their lives. And I want to thank everybody again for everything you've done to make this possible. Thank you.